Of the 5 films that I nominated for Best Picture for the Critics' Choice Awards this year, 2 of them are from Fox, which of course is now owned by Disney. And it made me feel kind of bad that the Fox executives who shepherded these movies were let go by the mouse when they acquired the studio. Some of them went over to Paramount, where they were then only let go again. It's tough in the movie business, especially with all, not only the consolidating, but the shift to prioritizing streaming. And these are movies. These are not just movies, but they feel very much like classic films. And I think that Disney is at a loss how to advertise these 2 amazing movies, not only because they're not part of large brands and franchises, but because they are very classic. And, you know, films advertised back in the day were advertised quite differently. Go watch a classic movie trailer. It's hilarious. They often won't even show you anything in the movie. They just have an announcer be like, look at all the amazing reviews this movie's getting. It won all these Oscars, because they used to have longer rollouts. And you're like, how does people just hear about this movie now? But anyway, I didn't want to watch Nightmare Alley. I really didn't want to watch it. I hated Guillermo Del Toro's Crimson Peak, and I thought The Shape of Water was super silly. You leave that fish alone, lady. Really. But also, I'm not a big Bradley Cooper fan. I know that will shock some of you, but I'm not a huge Bradley Cooper fan. And I think that's evident by, you know, his box office numbers are only medium. He doesn't have, I don't think he's a big draw. So there aren't any huge draws in this film either, which I think are hurting it a little bit as well in terms of getting an audience to see it. And I'm not a big Rooney Mara fan. I don't dislike Rooney Mara, but, you know, again, I'm not like, oh, what's Rooney Mara made a movie? I need to go see it. Same for Bradley Cooper. Although Bradley Cooper, he has such good business sense. You know, I think you do pay a little bit more attention when he decides to do something. And I'd never heard of the original novel that this is based on, or the 1947 B-movie adaptation. Del Toro says he adapted the novel. He didn't even look at the movie, really. But I do believe there's a Tyrone Power poster behind David Strathairn in one of the shots in the movie, which was a nice nod, I felt. But then, so why'd I watch it? Well, I'm a Critics' Choice member. So, you know, I get these screeners to vote. My vote was due on Friday, December 10th. And there has been some interest in the trailer. Some of you are really into the trailer and you're curious about the movie. It's a slow week. I needed movies to review, to be quite honest with you. So often in this crowded landscape, it boils down to timing. So I clicked play late Tuesday night. I didn't want to go to sleep early to get ready for the Hawkeye watch along. I'm supposed to go to sleep at 8 p.m. and I was like, I don't want to go to sleep. I want to watch Nightmare Alley. So I clicked play and I was absolutely blown away. In fact, I loved the movie so much, I watched it again the very next night. I loved it, and I discovered new layers to the story. You can watch this movie a lot. That's one of the things that's so cool about it. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I will say, I don't know if I'm going to have time to make a spoiler review, because again, timing. This is coming out at the worst time possible. They should have done 1917 on this. They should have had a limited release, just enough time to qualify for the Oscars, then rolled it out in January, February, and the movie maybe would blow up. Maybe it still will, because it comes out so close to the end of the year anyway, but man, because this movie is great. But anyway, pay close attention to Stan's parents in the context of the story and how they shape him. Not just his father, but also his mother, even though we never see her, which might make you dismiss her character. But what is said about her and the story that's told about her is actually incredibly important. Everything here is important. They don't waste a line. They're absolutely brilliant. There's also, by the way, speaking of nice lines, there's also a line which I thought was very compelling because it was in the rain and, it was a little like the Dumbo scenes with cleaning up the circus or the carnival. And Bradley Cooper's Stan is promised a nice hot meal. And we all know how good a hot meal can feel. And Del Toro really made you feel that. And you can enjoy a nice hot meal at home yourself for less than it costs to order out or even go grocery shopping with America's #1 meal kit, Hello Fresh. And, it's the holidays, you're busy, but you still want a really nice, good meal to watch while you stream the latest movies and shows, or a holiday classic while you're working your way through the holiday classics. I mean, time is running out. We can think of our favorite movies to watch this year. So there's home-style chicken and biscuit pot pie. Look at that. I can't wait to make that one. That looks incredible. Or peppercorn-crusted beef tenderloin. Delicious. And then after the holidays, when you want to put your best foot forward for the new year, you can get calorie-smart meals like pecan-crusted chicken with lemony apple salad. Still very delicious. And I've got a deal for you. Just go to hellofresh.com/BTT14 and use code BTT14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's right. Go to hellofresh.com/BTT14 and use code BTT14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. Okay, back to Nightmare Alley. Like Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, fascinatingly, another Fox remake. Del Toro's work, as I said, feels like a classic film, yet has the technological advantages and social commentary of a modern film. So it's like a classic movie on steroids. And if you like Turner Classic Movies, you will love that. You'll be like, sign me up. I love Turner Classic Movies. My current cable provider doesn't have it. It's really changed my life in some ways. I'm upset about it. Turner Classic Movies get better distribution. But anyway, if you have Turner Classic Movies, on a side note, I used to go through and I would just record anything that looked kind of interesting to me. And I discovered a lot of great classic movies that way. Great service. But anyway, both movies have incredibly strong visuals and scripts, which is very unusual for movies today, sadly. Where it's more like a novel, like they don't really do that anymore, which is sad, but it's cool that, in fact, both these movies do that. As for the 1947 original, I looked back because I was like, this is a very dark movie. They really did this in 1947? What about the production code? Well, it turns out they actually managed to get most of this through. And by the way, the carnival elements, which I also looked up, they're all true. And it's fascinating to learn about carnival life, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to ruin anything for you. But the 1947 film, I guess the production code did force them to blink with the ending. But this movie goes for it. And the ending is one of my favorite parts of the movie. So good. Now, I was fortunate enough, as I said, to get a screener as a Critics' Choice member, but I turned out all the lights so I could really soak up the visuals. And I think if you can get to a theater, you will really enjoy this experience. This is just an incredible film. It's like Del Toro's entire career has been leading up to this film, with a number of elements from all of his past movies identifiable here. Yet for the first time, Del Toro restrains himself to be the most mainstream he has been to date, and the results are incredibly impressive. This is a director who I think could level up even. Some of you might be like, how dare you? Del Toro is a great director. He is. But, would he like to make really successful blockbusters? I think that he might have found a path. Del Toro said he wanted to make a great film noir here, just a great straight drama that he doesn't have any supernatural elements or anything like that. And the result is one of the greatest dramas I've ever seen in the history of Hollywood. It's that good. Bradley Cooper is perfectly cast, able to slickly slip between charmer and heel. It's important that Stan Carlisle not be too sympathetic, so he's actually brilliantly cast. But to me, what really impressed me the most about Cooper's performance were his subtle moments in the film. Will Smith's still my pick for Best Actor, but Bradley Cooper's right behind him, in my opinion. It's also mesmerizing to watch his character arc over the course of the film. You rarely see that as well. And it's not only the writing and the directing, but Bradley Cooper. I mean, wow. Again, you can watch this film over and over again and discover new, amazing parts of it. Rooney Mara actually does a very nice job as Molly. I thought she was incredibly well cast, and the VFX on her carnival act are awesome. But Cate Blanchett is the other powerhouse performance here, and she actually has my favorite line in the film. This is an all-star cast, also like the classic films used to be, and David Strathairn, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, and Richard Jenkins are also all excellent. There are a lot of wonderful surprises in Nightmare Alley, so don't let anybody ruin the film for you, and don't try and get ahead of it either while you're watching it. Just buy your ticket and go for the ride. I nominated Nightmare Alley for the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Acting Ensemble, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Editing, Best Costume Design, and Best Hair and Makeup. The only reason I didn't nominate it for Best Director is that Guillermo Del Toro already won for The Shape of Water, because it's a whole Oscar, it's a whole awards race. Critics' Choice factors into that. And I was only able to nominate 3 directors. And you might be like, well, Spielberg's won some Oscars, Grace. Yeah, but Spielberg's camera work, it was between him and Del Toro for the spot of someone who already has been nominated or won. And you can't get past Spielberg's impressive camera work in West Side Story. That gave him the edge. But yeah, as you can see, I loved Nightmare Alley. It might be my favorite film of the year. I have to think about it a little more, but right now I think it might be. It's the kind of dark, romantic, psychological, epic film that I just love. And if you love movies like that, and again, classic films, it's just really so wonderful. So often people are dismissive of classic films. It drives me crazy. But this just shows what Hollywood used to be and still can be. Isn't that exciting? This is what dramas need to be. That's it. This is what dramas need to be to keep them on the big screen instead of being relegated to streaming, which is what they're currently in danger of because they're not blockbusters. All right, that's my thoughts on Nightmare Alley. It hits theaters only December 17th. I know you're busy right now. It's the holidays. You got to see Spider-Man a bunch of times. But I really hope that you don't miss this or West Side Story when you get a moment before they leave theaters. And even if you do, at least watch them on streaming. Catch them at some point. These are incredible movies. All right, share your own thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.